I want to try to explore the symbolism of this sunburn I got back in high school. Okay? I'm going to try as hard as I can to unpack, excuse me from my irony, uh, the symbolism in that sunburn. Now, I'm saying that at that time in my life as an adolescent, I was being male raped by a man I'm calling America's Man of the Year, very popular guy. Well, very popular medical doctor. People loved the guy. He was so funny, and he was such a good medical doctor. He was so good at what he did, right? And well, he was so good at what he did. He was able to male rape me, and me not know he had done it. And he did often. And he was so good at what he could do that, well, he did that real well, and I didn't know he'd done it, but it was ruining my life. So I want to explore the symbolism of this sunburn as some kind of unconscious communication. The best I can do is say that there's an unconscious world out there. Some people call it nature. Some people even call it God. You know, let's just call it the unconscious world instead of nature, right? And let's say that it's true what the literary scholar and critic Northrop Frye explained as nemesis. Let's say that this principle he identifies in what he described as nature. He didn't talk about an unconscious world. He said out there in nature, nemesis is this natural balancing process. When evil happens, nature just responds as a matter of course to right the balance upset by the evil. Righting the balance is to bring justice to the evildoers. That nature is like that. It's like teetering back and forth between good and evil. In the continuing war between good and evil down through history. And Northrop Frye says this nemesis, it's the term for this natural balancing process in nature. So let's say that there is a natural balancing process like that, and we're going to call, instead of nature, we're going to call the world out there the unconscious world. We're not going to call it nature. So the unconscious world would include our unconscious minds. It wouldn't just be like nature and man, you know, this kind of thing. The separation of the natural world and the human world. See what I'm saying? So, let's assume that there's a natural balancing process, and so when I explore this symbolism here of this experience, it could be that this experience is an example of this natural balancing process. Okay? So, I lay on a beach, okay, when I'm with these friends, and I'm as if asleep. And I think I did fall asleep, but, you know, it's hard to tell. I think I actually did fall asleep for a while. So while I did fall asleep on the beach down in Florida during spring break of my senior year in high school, I got this horrific sunburn. You know, it was an overcast day, but at that time in my life, I did not know that some very harmful radiation can get through the atmosphere when the atmosphere is all clouded up. You don't see the sun, and you think, oh, you can lay out in the sand, and you don't have to worry about a sunburn or anything. I was wrong. Now, let's look at this. This man who I'm saying was male raping me, America's Man of the Year, what was his specialty? He was a radiologist, so he was dealing with radiation. And I'm laying out on the beach as if asleep. I was asleep for a while. And I was being harmed by radiation. And I didn't know it. Okay? I didn't know I'd be harmed that way, but I was. So I get this horrible sunburn, and I'm suffering. Okay? And this sunburn causes me to have to withdraw from the friends I've gone down to Florida for this spring break. And this was great. I mean, this was wonderful to be able to go down to Florida with these friends. And I had to withdraw from their friendship, so to speak, because I got this horrific sunburn from radiation while I was asleep. Okay? So not only was I suffering myself, but I had reddened skin. My skin was all red from the sunburn, so I had a mark on me from the radiation. It had harmed me while I was asleep. I didn't know it was harming me, but when I woke up, I had this mark on my body telling others I got this terrible sunburn. And it also, I was suffering from the sunburn as well. Well, that sunburn is as a result, let me say again, it's from radiation, and I'm being raped by a radiologist, and I don't know what's happening. Just like I'm laying on that beach, and I'm getting a terrible sunburn, and I don't know what's happening. Okay, but when I wake up, I got a mark on me, and others see that this has happened. Okay? So, I'm raped while asleep, I don't know what's happened, and it's caused me to appear a certain way and have consequences in my life. Because it's put a mark on me that I don't even know is there. And I'm suffering. And I don't know why I am suffering. I'm suffering all kinds of consequences from this rape of being misunderstood by others. This is my personal suffering, like the burn I feel from the sunburn. I'm going on through all this turmoil of being rejected and not having any kind of girlfriend and all these other problems that I have. They're causing me all kinds of suffering from what's happening to me when I'm asleep. So I'm saying that sunburn I got down during that summer break was unconscious communication from the unconscious world trying to let me know what was actually happening to me and causing me suffering in my life. No girlfriend. I dropped out of 2 different high schools. I went to 3 different high schools for unaccountable reasons. I was suffering the consequences of the male rapes that I did not know were happening. Just like laying on that beach, not knowing that radiation was going to cause me that sunburn, did cause me that sunburn and caused me to suffer. So I'm saying this is an example of the unconscious world trying to right the balance upset by the evil done to me by America's Man of the Year.